came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really hip. There isn't any cost of membership, and all you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this ship. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it up on the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
All aboard, folks. All freaking board. The gentle sound of waves crashing aboard the deck. How are we doing out there, my friends? It is once again your brother Sal coming to you live from the corner of my garage. Good to see each and every one of you. Yes, I have my Where We Go One, We Go All shirt on. Haven't worn that in quite some time. Oh boy, what a week it has been. It's Wednesday and it feels like it should be Saturday night. How you doing out there? Let me take a quick peek around all the channels to make sure I'm live everywhere I'm supposed to be. We are definitely live at the home of free speech in America. That would be Pilled Foxhole. Due Diligence, good to see you, my friend. Great to see you. Love that sticker. Love that sticker. I have to tell you, Due Diligence, last night I was watching your show, as you know. And before you click on the pills, you know, so I guess let me go back. So right underneath the picture of you, and you had 6 or 7 people joining you last night, at least 6. Underneath it says replays, info, gold bill, and games. So when you first sign on, and I look at whoever is broadcasting that night, and I've got a choice of 25 people. So I sat down last night for just a brief couple of minutes out here in the garage. I was extremely busy. And I saw, Due Diligence is on. I will go and say hello and do what I do. So I clicked on your name, and your stream came up. So I hadn't touched the screen. It was just you and your show came up. And I hadn't clicked on the gold pill tab yet so that you can give and send gold pills. I just left it as it was. And when you leave it as it is, ads pop up there. Small little ads pop up across the bottom of the screen. So here I am. I mean, I'm exhausted. I click on Due Diligence, and my eyes are adjusting to. I'm trying to read who you have on your show. figuring it out, and I glanced down at the ad below, and in big giant letters it says, gay men. And I'm thinking, what the heck is Due Diligence doing a show on gay men about? He's got Father Larry there. He's got, what the hell's going on? Then I realized it was the ad and that I hadn't clicked on Gold Pills. So I immediately clicked on Gold Pills and I rectified the situation. It kind of surprised me. I guess, anyway, we'll leave that alone. So we are definitely live at the home of free speech in America. Are we live at Rumble? Well, we are live at Rumble. We got 3 people hanging out there. Are we live on YouTube? Yes, we are. Hello to Denise. Good to see you, my friend. Hello to Daniel NLN. It has been a day, brother. It has been a day. I'm going to share it with you. Oh, I promise. I'm going to share my day with you. Are we live over at... Oh, yes. The sailors are pouring in over there in Lemon Land. You guys, this is what exhaustion looks like. This is freaking exhaustion right here. I'm whooped. When I woke up on Monday morning, I had every intention of going to work and doing whatever was in my power to bring home the bacon on this job that I'm just about finished with. By Friday, I wanted to hand them the keys. I wanted to hand them the certificate of occupancy. I wanted to have all of my final inspections done. I wanted the final concrete poured, everything done. By Monday, at about 9 o'clock, it hit me like a ton of bricks that no matter how hard I tried, that wasn't going to happen. Just not going to happen. And I took a heavy sigh, and I took a deep breath, and I thought, since last October, I have been giving this job both barrels. In fact, this is crazy. I shared with you guys the little news clip from the other day, right? I shared the news clip with you the other day. Then I was on the local news. I got a phone call today from a newspaper, a local newspaper that interviewed me. So, what the heck? I'm getting more publicity as a construction worker than I am as a podcaster. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. I threw in the towel. I said, you know what? I sent an email. I sent an email around the horn. I said to my company, I said, first up, you better find another superintendent and get his ass down here, because my last day is Friday and the building's not going to be done. You're not going to have your certificate of occupancy. You're probably not going to have a lot of your important final inspections, because you guys are using all of my subcontractors in other places and telling me they're more important. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with my thumb up my ass, trying to finish a job that should have been finished 3 weeks ago. It's frustrating. I was very frustrated. I've worked very, very hard to deliver this job early to my client, who's a wonderful, wonderful people. They are wonderful people. I really wish them all the success in the world. We had a pretty good day today. I took our giant forklift and we spent the day dragging everything from their existing workspace, which is this tiny little hole in the wall. We brought over the lathes and the band saws and the jointers and the sanding tables and the giant table saws and the wood lathes, metal lathes. They've got, these boys, man, they've got some toys. They have got some serious woodworking toys. I was I can't believe I didn't realize how much stuff they had. But now they have room to move. And you know, now it's not my problem. My biggest concern right now is filling in the blanks right here and right here. That's going to be my biggest concern, filling in the blanks right there. That's all I'm worried about. That's it. Nothing else to worry about. It's somebody else's problem. I did everything I could do. All right, let's say some hellos. Now that we've populated a little bit, I'm going to say hello to the wonderful folks hanging out over at Pilled Foxhole, the home of free speech in America. Girl Patriot is with us. Prayer Warrior Girl, good to see you. Due Diligence, my brother, how are you doing? Zoom Zoom, always a pleasure, my friend. Trashman Green in the house. Crazy Chuck with a K. Let me show you this. She's sitting there waiting. Whoop, 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 whoop. There she is. Oh, she's sitting there waiting. What happened to my camera? Oh, for gosh sakes. I had the camera perfectly trained on the bike not 5 minutes ago. Where's my production assistant? Where's my production assistant? Where are the PAs when you need them? I swear. Hard help is so good to find. The Texan in the house. Good to see you, my brother. Hope everything is good in your world. I know you're out there working your ass off in the heat. I know you are. Crazy Chuck, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Reverend Odoichi. Revenge Odoichi. Sorry. I see Rev and I naturally think Reverend. Revenge Odoichi. Hope you're doing well, my friend. All right, LT 57 in the house. We've got some fine sailors hanging out at Pilled Foxhole. It's always a pleasure to see them. Gubich is with us. How are you doing? Good to see you, sister. Good to have you aboard. How about at the Tube? What do we have over at the Tube? Holy smokes, we got a bunch of people at the Tube. I mean, a bunch. Denise is here. Daniel and LN. James Halloran. How are you guys doing? Dixie Doodle. What's going on, little lady? Yes, I have a friend named the Texan. He might even pop in and say hello over there on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He gets around. The man gets around. Over here at Rumble, we've got people watching, whoever you are out there, my Rumble fans. I'm so glad you're there. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being Rumblers on the Mystery Ship. It makes me very happy. God, it's sweltering in this garage. I'm going to have to lose this jacket. I've got the air conditioner trained on me, and I'm dying in here. Just dying. Okay. D Live, the home of the champion. You see that? You see that crown over my shoulder? That is the home of the champions. Amethyst Cat in the house. One Easy Money is with us. Sleeping Stars. Gloria Paddock, who I finally figured out is, they're using a nickname in there, and it took me a minute to remember that it was Gloria that they're saying hello to. Artist 61, Steph, what are you doing, little lady? Wonderful to see your smiling face. Jayla 17, how are you? Spudley, Spud is in the house. How wonderful. Oh my goodness. Gloria comes roaring in a ninja-gini. How phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you for the big surprise right there. That's beautiful. Bad Zoot. Zoot Allure. What is going on, my friend? My friend from Indiana. I hope you're doing well. Rick Carmen. Oh, my goodness. Val Kimber. Could this really be? Do we have all of these sailors in the house? Did I see Sheeple? I wonder if I saw Sheeple. Anyway, I don't want to miss anybody. Thank you all for coming and hanging out on the Mystery Ship. It's been an interesting couple of days. You know, I always try to look at the brighter side of things, you know? If there's something good and something bad about any given subject, I want to see the good. Why dwell on the negative and complain and bitch and all that shit? At least dig out a little positive about something. I came home the other night, driving home. I think it was Saturday morning. It was Saturday morning just before my rock show. Just before my rock show. And I was driving in the driveway and I saw some heavy traffic. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I better slow down. And let me show you. I'll show you what I ran into. And it made me stop and smell the roses. That's what it did. I just have to show you guys. There is a mother here with 4 baby fawns. 4 of them. There's 2 over there. There's one. They're smaller than some dogs. Mom's very concerned. There's Mom. There's 2 of the little ones. And then over here, I got one who just can't figure out how to get through the fence. This poor little guy, freaking out. Just freaking out. You'll be fine. I'm not going to run you over. There you go, baby. And then there's one more over here. I can't believe she had 4 of them. My God. Oh, 5! Oh my God, there's 5! The mother had 5 babies. Holy Hannah. What is that woman made of? Seriously. Seriously. 5 fawns. What is that woman made of? Some moments, silly little moments like that just made me stop and smell the roses. Yes, it happens every day to those of us in the country. Baby fawns being born every year. It's just the same old. But you know what? There's just something precious to behold about that little life. Last year, this time, this is when all the fawns are born. Last year, this time, I went out in my backyard by my flagpole. And there was a little baby fawn. It was literally just born. And according to my sister-in-law, it wasn't even an hour old. It was like this big, like still the size of a house cat. Pretty amazing stuff. Speaking of house cats, we have a new cat in the house. Yes, Mrs. Zoe went to work on Monday. And, halfway through the day, I reached out to her. So how's your day going? She goes, oh, my day, let me explain it to you when I get home. And I'm thinking, that's a loaded, that could go anywhere. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be, so I hoped for the best. And when I got home, I found Mrs. Zoe in bed with a little baby cat, like a 2-week-old, maybe 2-week-old baby kitten from a feral cat somewhere out by her work. And the cat came running across the street. It had stuff in its eyes. Its eyes were glued shut. So it's a miracle the cat didn't get run over by a car because it couldn't see where it was going. And it ran up to one of her people and started rubbing on her. And she brought it in. And of course, Mrs. Zoe, because she has the heart the size of Texas, decides to help this poor animal. And somehow helping this poor animal turned into adopting this poor animal. She's already had him to the vet. It's a free-for-all. So there's that. And then, your brother Zoe. I got to have some good news every now and then. I need something that blows my skirt up. You know what I mean? That's just the kind of guy I am. If once in a while I don't get tickled over something, then life's too short, right? Get a load of this. This was today. This is today, people. Today. In fact, this is less than an hour ago. Do you want to see something sexy? When's the last time you saw something seriously sexy?
Right on. I'll see you in a few. Thank you so much. All right.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I just got those big, nice, new, wide white walls. Still got the whiskers. I must admit, I'm still in love.
And I am. I really am. I'm still in love with Peggy. It'll be a long time before she breaks my heart. All right. We got rid of that. We got rid of that. We got rid of this. So Peggy is, of course, my showboating gal. She's my showboater. That's for riding around town and showing off. And I love the big wide white walls. I have wanted those damn things. I have wanted big wide white walls on my bike for so long. Man, and I finally did it. Got new brakes. So both my girls are ready. I mean, they're both in absolute tip-top shape. I'm going to do a little tweaking on Libby before I go. I want to rearrange my foot pedals, change them up just a little bit. I got them out there too far. I got to bring them in. Got to reel it in just a little bit. But I am looking forward to Monday, people. Monday's fun day, Charlie Brown. I'm going to be shoving off around the whole country, and I hope to run into you. We'll talk more about that. Of course we will. Of course we will. Just not right now. Because you know what now is? Now is the time. Now is the time for you to take a second and do that voodoo that you do. Do you need to take a leak? Do you need to run in and refresh your drink? Boy, I really should. I really should. In fact, I think I will. Do you need to take the dog outside? What is it you do during the next 2 minutes and 12 seconds? I don't know. But it's upon you, and it's time for you to make that decision. So we'll be back on the other side of this video. Yes, we will. I'll see you there.
We sail upon the mystery ship because we never know where we'll go next.
Well, this is when I take
And
a
so,
moment.
my friends,
Whoa. This is when I take a moment to thank the wonderful people who tune into the Mystery Ship over and over again. You know I freaking love you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Thanks for supporting me in the many different ways that you do. Got a nice little surprise the other day in my Cash App, just in time for my upcoming trip. Kind of blew me away. Very thankful. The wonderful sailors out there who surprised me. Well, looks like we have another sailor aboard over there that needs to be turned blue, and turned blue you will be. Anyway, folks, you know that I am heading out. I'm heading out across the country. By our next meeting, I will have this filled out. This will be completely filled out. If you take a look at this, That is part of my trip. It's not completed yet, but it will be. These lines will be filled in black all the way back to Oregon where I live next time you see me. If you are anywhere along these lines, I want you to reach out to me, please. Seriously, I want you to reach out to me and say, Zoe, let's get a cup of coffee, okay? I've gotten so many wonderful emails so far. So when you cruise through here, when you cruise through there, it's fantastic. But it's the best part of my trip is stopping and meeting the people who watch this show. So I care not where you live. Reach out to me, zosodude@protonmail.com. zosodude@protonmail.com. I would love to meet up with you. Drop me a line. I'm visiting like 38 states, and it'll be somewhere around 12 or 13,000 miles by the time I get back home again. I'm really looking forward to this. I need to get as far away. As I can right now. Like, I cannot wait to be in Key West, sipping a hurricane, singing "It's 5 o'clock somewhere." And I will do it. I was up until some ungodly hour last night, like 11 o'clock, which, folks, your brother Zoe gets up at 4 a.m. By 8:30, I'm doing the nods, okay? It's a miracle if I'm up past 9 o'clock. And I was up till like 11 last night, wrapping and addressing and making sure that all the prizes that everybody won, you see they're all gone now. Everything's packaged. I have like 3 or 4 addresses to put on there, and they're going to the post office tomorrow so that they arrive before I get to their town and people say, "Hey, where the hell's my prize, you cheap bastard?" Anyway, they're going out. I was heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken, to find out that when I got down to the bottom of the box, I had purchased 10 mugs of the 500th episode mug, Zoso's 500th. I was there. I get down to the bottom of the box and I found 2 broken mugs. Well, I sure as hell can't send out a broken mug. So of the 10 people who won them, 2 of you, unfortunately, are going to have to wait just a wee bit now until, I have some options. I can order them, and I can individually mail them directly instead of sending them to me and then me, repackaging and I can send them directly to you. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, because I want everybody to get their stuff. That's half the fun of the 500th program. But I got everything packed, thank goodness, and addressed and labeled. And Lord, it's a chore. It's a chore. Anyway, what else? There was something else critical I needed to share with you. What the hell was it? It's something big. It's something important. Oh, well, maybe it'll come to me. Thank you for joining me tonight on the Mystery Ship. For those of you who looked at the title of tonight's program, and saw it entitled Mystery Ship number 503, The Boys of Summer. That should have been your clue that, yes, we are talking about none other than that grand old game of baseball. You know where I stand. You know where I stand with sports. Oh, my God. Let me tell you where I stand right now. I'll tell you where I stand right now. I'm going to stand up and take off this freaking leather vest because I'm sweating in places in my nether regions. Okay? Surely you don't want to hang out with a captain who's sweating, who's perspiring in his nether regions. I wouldn't want to hang out with a guy like that. Okay, so baseball, the grand old game. I have a love affair with baseball. You guys know where I sit with sports, okay? Sports, as we know it, professional sports, for me personally, have become kind of, it's a sore subject with me. And I'll tell you what, I've shared this before. This was one of the very first things that I did a mystery ship on. And back in those days, I entitled it, Your Warrior Spirit. I believe firmly that deep inside every man, woman, and child in this country is a warrior spirit that is unbridled. It's inside every one of us that you can be pushed just so far before you turn around and lash out, okay? All of us have a point, a line in the sand, a place where we say, that's it. Don't go any further, or it's a knuckle sandwich. All right? Each of us have that inside of us. Now, for the most part, we have been tamed down. In the last 100 years, in the last 100 years, they have found a way. They, being the people in control, have found a way to have us that they found a way to quench our warrior spirit. And that's with entertainment. It started with the movies, okay? Actually, it started with still pictures, and they called them flickers. Remember when you used to go to Disneyland and put in 5 cents, and still photos would go one by one by one by one, and you'd see a person that looked like they were moving? Well, that became silent films, and then silent films became black and whites, and black and whites became color, and then radio, of course, with the War of the Worlds. They really took notice that, oh my God, when the radio broadcast of War of the Worlds came out, they thought that there were actually people listening who were running outside with their shotguns thinking that there were little green men landing in their backyard, in their farms in Iowa and Nebraska. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth, but that's when the powers that be realized, oh my God, this media thing, we can actually use it to change the way people think. And that's my feeling about professional sports. Okay? Everybody, at this point, NFL and MLB and pro basketball, they have so glorified these games and everything associated with it, from the basketball shoes that you buy to the jerseys. I'm as guilty as you don't want to know. You don't want to know how many New York Jets jerseys I bought in my day. Okay, I got a New York Jets helmet up there, signed by Joe Namath. Okay. that Yankee hat sitting there. That is a World Series hat. I'm as guilty as anyone. Hang on a minute. The damn wire for my headphones got rolled up in the wheel of my chair. So, this is how I feel about sports. In a nutshell, if they get you to get all worked up about sports, about movies, about music and going to concerts, if they get you worked up into a lather big enough to shave a buffalo about something meaningless as the Buffalo Bills or the New York Jets or the New England Patriots, or pick a team, pick a town, pick a city, whatever. They get you rabidly screaming and yelling, and the veins sticking out in your neck, because they didn't make the fourth down try. And what it does is it purges you. It purges you inside of your warrior spirit, that gladiator deep inside of you, that the person that says, you're not going to push me past this point, that's been quelled. So the things that really count in this world, the things that really matter, like tons of people illegally pouring over the border, or the fact that your food prices have tripled in the last 24 months, things like that, things that really, really matter, things that you should be getting excited about, but aren't. You're just taking it. It's because they've taken all of your warrior spirit away from you. That's how I feel about sports. Now that that's out of the way, let's at least go back to the early part of my life, because fortunately, friends, I'm old enough to say I was alive and I was saving baseball cards back when you got a pack of baseball cards for 5 cents. And inside was one of the lousiest sticks of gum you've ever chewed in your life. But it was so much fun to take a nickel and open up that little wax package of the Topps baseball cards and see if your guy was in there, your favorite player. For me, my favorite player was this guy right here. Right here. Right here. I was a kid growing up in New Jersey, and this was my favorite player. You all know him. The Mick. The Mick. What's going on? There he is. The Mick. Good old number 7. Good old number 7 for the New York Yankees, Mickey Mantle. I would eat, live, and breathe. I bought every book. I bought continually as a little kid in New Jersey, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. I had shoe boxes of baseball cards, and I lived to play that game. There was nothing more fun than going outside with your brother for a game of catch. Just a game of catch. And I need to ask this, because I've often wondered this. Yes, it is a baseball glove. We all know that. It's a baseball glove. But when I grew up, we called it a mitt, okay? It was your mitt. That's what it was. So I want to know right now, if you called your baseball glove a glove, put a Y in the chat. But if you called it your mitt, I want you to put an X. I want to see if I'm the only guy who called it a mitt, or maybe I'm just old enough to remember. Maybe that's what we called it back then. Us old folks. We called them mitts, not a glove, a mitt. X if you called it a mitt, Y if you called it a baseball glove. Amen. We got a bunch of X's out there. Hell yes. Hell yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. You just made me feel a whole lot younger. A whole lot younger. It's your mitt, man. Mine was a Spalding. And I'll never forget the way, I mean, it took so long to break it in. But when I broke it in, it was just absolutely splendid. It was flawless. It was perfect. I loved my mitt. I often wondered what happened to it. Oh, look at all those X's. I love you guys. This is fantastic. Good. You're making my day out there. You are making my day. So anyway, I have been thinking about this game. The game itself, back when I was a kid, baseball players were like, in the mid 60s, baseball players weren't any different than plumbers or carpenters or guys who owned the corner drugstore. They made, $35,000 a year, which in the 60s was, better than most, but it wasn't extraordinary. Okay? It wasn't extraordinary, and I gotta blame my guy up there. Okay, in 1965, when Joe Namath left the University of Alabama and signed a deal with the New York Jets, he had some professional advice from his coach. And his coach said, "How much are you planning on asking for your contract?" And Joe told him, Joe, who was at the time like the college guy, he was the one everybody wanted. He said, "I'm thinking of asking for $300,000." And his coach said, "Ask for $400,000." And folks, that was pretty much the beginning of the end of sports as we know it. Because from that moment on, somewhere right around 66, 67, sporting figures started making these obscene salaries. And because of that, ticket prices went up. And that's when the game lost its down-home feel, its backyard. Hey, grab your mitt. Let's go have a game of catch. That's when it all became professional. That's when it became something they knew they could make tons of money at. It was the beginning of the end. And the next thing you know, every single camp, whether it was the NBA or baseball, football, whatever, salaries were ridiculous. That's when they started coming out with, I remember when I first saw the MLB logo, the red, white, and blue logo. How American, red, white, and blue. Now look, I'm not here to bash baseball. I'm actually here to sing its praises. I'm going to stop going down that road because really, I'm here tonight to celebrate the grand old game that I remember, because I want to remember baseball as one of the most beautiful pastimes of my young life. I remember playing in softball leagues. I remember playing on hardball teams at school. Making the school baseball team was everything. It was everything. If you didn't make the team, man, it's like your heart would sink. It was It was part of being an American. It was fun. It was it was it was uniquely American before they destroyed it with all of the ads and all of the ridiculousness, back when it was still pure. Back when it was still pure, it was one of the most beautiful pastimes that ever was. I mean, you could go, when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old, you could go to Dodger Stadium and for 75 cents, less than $1, you could get a seat in the outfield for 75 cents. It's just amazing. I will never, in my life, never forget my very first baseball game that I went to. It was the New York Yankees at Old Yankee Stadium against the Oakland Athletics. My hero, Mickey Mantle, hit one of his very last home runs in that game. His career was fizzling out. The old boy had been on top for a long, long time. And I was heartbroken to find out that he hung it up. And at the time, when Mantle retired, well, I had to have a new favorite player. I mean, that's what kids did. You had posters on your wall, and who's going to be my next favorite player? Well, a strange thing happened, and although I had grown up in northern New Jersey and was, 30 minutes from Yankee Stadium, I had just become a Cub Scout. So I remember cracking open the sporting pages of the New York Times and reading in the sports section that Chicago Cubs were led to victory by a guy by the name of Ron Santo with a 3-run home run. And there was a picture of him. And I thought, Cubs. I'm a Cub Scout. I like the look of the little Cubs insignia. And for the next, I don't know, for the next 7-8 years, he became my favorite player. Even though I had never lived in Chicago, I'd never been anywhere near Chicago, there was something about being a Cub Scout and seeing a team called the Cubs to my little 8-year-old brain that made sense to me. And number 10, Ron Santo, was my favorite player. And I will say, I had his poster hanging on my wall. It was, I loved it. Back in those days, I've mentioned this so many times, but it bears repeat. It's worth repeating. We didn't have baseball on 7 nights a week. You had one game on Saturday mornings, and it was called Baseball's Game of the Week with Joe Garagiola, Kurt Gowdy, and it didn't matter who was up, if it was the Pirates or if it was, you were watching baseball live on TV. It was awesome. It was fantastic. I loved it. And it was even more special if by some miracle of God, the Cubs were on, then I would be ecstatic. It's funny that as you get older and your hobbies, your pastimes, the things that turn you on, they change. As I got, into my early teens and started picking up guitars, started thinking about girls, started doing things like smoking pot and all of those wonderful things. I kind of kind of walked away from sports. Really didn't really pay too much attention anymore. I mean, I kept one eye on it. Just kind of wanted to know who was in the World Series, who was in the Super Bowl that year, but it didn't mean as much to me as it did when I was in my youth. By that time, the seeds were set. I mean, the trees were growing. The entire culture surrounding sports, there was an agenda. There was an agenda to make sports larger than life. I think that baseball is a wonderful, wonderful American pastime. And I remember vividly when, I think it was 1970. I'm feeling pretty good about this. 1970, the first quote-unquote expansion teams showed up. You had the Montreal Expos. You had the Seattle Pilots, the Milwaukee Brewers. All of a sudden, what do you mean? What do you mean there's more? What do you mean there's more teams? What are you guys doing to my game? It was a big deal. At least to me it was, as a little kid. I used to just eat, live, and breathe the game of baseball. It was so American. So, when you would get double and triple of, Jose Cardinal baseball card, so you would use them with the old clip on your bicycle to make that motor sound in your spokes, that brrr, brrr. Oh my God, it was so much fun being a kid in love with baseball in the 60s. It was meant to be. Do you remember the very first baseball game you ever went to? You remember the whole walking into the stadium for the first time, and then and just as you edge closer through the people, all of a sudden, like if there's multi-levels in a stadium. Let's say you were on the second level, and as you walked closer, all of a sudden there it was, the green grass in front of you. There was something freaking magic about it. It was magical, sheer magic. And I can't say that I lost all of that. As I grew up a Yankee fan at first, and my brother was a Red Sox fan. Carl Yastrzemski was my brother's favorite player. And in the packs of gum, baseball cards, you would get, I think, he had like 6 or 7 cards and a stick of that really, really shitty gum. But every now and then, there would be a special pack, and you couldn't tell it. You could pick up 5 packs of baseball cards, and you wouldn't know which one, but every now and then would be a pack that had a paper fold-out poster. And the posters were they were about maybe 10 by 12. I'll never forget the day that my brother opened up his pack of gum, and who should he get in the little fold-out poster but his favorite player, Carl Yastrzemski. So we were little kids in Northridge, California. We had moved from Jersey to California. My brother wrote to Carl Yastrzemski and sent the little poster to Carl, and Carl signed it and mailed it back to him. That's Just think about that for a second. A kid from Nowheresville opens up his baseball card, get backpack of cards, gets his dream poster, sends it to his favorite player, who not only signed it, he addressed it to my brother, to Bob, Carl Yastrzemski, and mailed it back to him. That shit doesn't happen today. That wouldn't happen today for $1 million. That wouldn't happen. It's not like that anymore. It's not even remotely like that. The whole thing is overblown. Now when baseball players have like book signings and stuff like that, if you buy a book, they'll sign it. But if you just want him to sign something, good freaking luck. I want to tell you something about this guy right here. I want to tell you something about this guy right here. The Mick. Okay? He was one of the last legitimate baseball players that wasn't disgustingly overpaid. He wasn't in it for the money. He wasn't in it for the... Well, I can't quite say that. He had some fun outside of the park. There's no question. He and Joe Namath used to be buddies, and they would take on the town, the two of them. And the stories are pretty nostalgic. But I had the pleasure in my mid-20s. I was the captain of the Entertainment Tonight softball team. I proudly wore number 7 on my back. And we did an interview with Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle had come out with a video, and it was just Mickey Mantle telling old war stories from back in the day. And each and every one of them were hysterical. This video, if you could still find it today, it probably came out in 85, 86, somewhere in that. And it's just Mickey Mantle sitting in front of a camera telling old war stories about hanging out with his buddies, his baseball buddies, after the game, the stuff that they did. And it's wet your pants funny. It is absolutely wet your pants funny. And so we interviewed him, and we interviewed Mickey Mantle right in the middle of the Paramount lot. We had a little grassy area between two buildings. There were some big, nice, huge trees, shaded trees. And the director said, "Hey, man, that's a great spot right there. We got a cool summer breeze here in California. Let's put Mickey right there." And so we did the interview with him. And I mean, I just sat there hanging on his every word. I'm like 25, 26. And about 10 minutes into the interview, I realized, oh my God, I need to have Mickey autograph a baseball for me. So I ran back to the Teamsters. We had Teamsters working for our show. They were our drivers. Anything we needed, you grabbed a Teamster. And I gave him $20. And I said, run over to the sporting goods store up on Hollywood Boulevard, and I need 2 American League baseballs. And I had Mickey autograph one for me, and I knew what side of my bread got buttered. I had him autograph one for the executive producer. And the funny thing was, I sat there for the rest of the interview with those 2 baseballs in my hand, just waiting patiently. I had a Sharpie in my hand, so anybody who looked at me knew what my agenda was. The next thing you know, I turn around behind me, And there's a line of people as far, I mean, it went down around the building. All these people got in line to get an autograph from Mickey Mantle. Now, by this time in Mickey's life, okay, he would go on these autograph tours like many retired sports stars do. And for a generous chunk of chains, Mickey would sit there and autograph whatever you wanted. Pictures, books, shirts, hats, whatever you wanted. But he made money from it. But on this given afternoon, this given spring afternoon in Los Angeles, Mickey sat there and he didn't turn away one person. He sat and autographed probably 75 whatevers, T-shirts, hats. He was just like a giving soul. And I was so moved by that. I felt bad because I'm the guy who freaking started it, okay? Me and my baseballs. Hey, Mick, I'm the captain of the entertainment tonight. Would you mind? And, I mean, he looked at me with a big shit-eating grin, and he signed the balls for me, and I still have it somewhere. When I moved, I misplaced it. It's in one of my boxes. That's why I cannot wait to finish that storage unit so we can bring all of our stuff here so I can tear it all apart, because somewhere in one of my boxes are two things that I want. One is a brand new pair of $400 Danner boots that I had just purchased when we moved. And the other is my damn Mickey Mantle baseball. And I got to find this thing. I've got to find it. I promised it to Frank. I said, the minute I find it, I'm sending it to you, because he is someone who will appreciate it. Unfortunately, I had two girls. They don't know jack shit about baseball, nor do they care. They don't know who Mickey Mantle is. But Frank, he would put that thing right. He'd have it sitting right in the corner of, probably right on his screen. And I want him to have it. Do you remember your first game? Do you remember the guys hawking popcorn and the guys walking up and down the aisles with all the souvenirs, or do you remember how good the Peanut Man was with throwing the peanuts? I mean, the guys, I gotta hand it. I gotta hand it to them. The guys at Dodger Stadium were so good hucking those bags of peanuts. You got two bags of peanuts tied together, and you would, break them in half and share them with your buddy. Those guys could flip them behind their back. They could hit a guy 6 rows up, 7, and just behind the back, just perfect throw. Perfect freaking throw. I'll never forget in, I think it was 2002, 2003, I got sent to work up in Boston. In fact, I landed a job with a very large, very prominent Fortune 500 company based in Boston. And the weekend that they flew me out there, they put me up in a beautiful hotel. Just beautiful hotel. And I was on like the 22nd floor, and it was just so nice. And I was excited. I got up to my bedroom. I got up to my hotel room. And I go to open the drapes. And as I open the drapes, I look out, and I am looking directly at the Green Monster. Fenway Park was right there. I mean, right there. And this is before cell phones were out. but it was before pictures. You could send texts, but you couldn't take pictures yet. And I immediately called my brother. I go, Bob, you're not going to believe what I'm looking at, man. You're not going to believe what I'm looking at. What? I said, dude, I'm standing right here looking at the green monster outside my hotel room window. He was green with envy. Of course, I bought all kinds of Fenway Park shirts and hats, and I had to get my brother some stuff. You know, that's what brothers do when they love baseball. But I have so many amazing baseball memories. Wonderful baseball memories. When in Los Angeles, when I just had gotten my driver's license. Actually, I'm sorry. I'd gotten my driver's license a couple of years before, when I had just gotten my first car, which was, I mean, I bought my first car for $170. Okay. It was a 64 Chevelle Malibu, and the entire left side quarter panel from the door all the way to the tail had been wiped out. Somebody hit something, and it was ugly. I eventually fixed the car, massaged it back, made it perfect, but that has nothing to do with the story. I wanted to go somewhere. I wanted to take a drive. I got my own car. I called around to my friends back in the landline days, you know, and, hey, you want to go for a ride? No, man, I'm doing this. No, man, I'm doing that. So I said, screw it. I got in my car, and I went for a drive. And I just started driving. And I ended up going down the Hollywood freeway, and I got off at Alvarado, and I'm just kind of cruising. And the next thing you know, I could hear cheering, and I realized, oh my God, I'm at Chavez Ravine. I'm at Dodger Stadium. So I pulled into Dodger Stadium, and I got a seat all by myself behind the third base line, Dodger side, and I just got myself a hot dog and some Cokes, and I was just there enjoying the game. And it turns out it was a very controversial game. It was a game when two guys ran out on the field with an American flag and a can of lighter fluid, and they were going to burn this American flag. This is like, it's like 1976, either 76 or 77, somewhere right in there. And the guy, I mean, they did it right between the second baseman and the center fielder. They ran out onto the field. They spread the flag out. The guy's sitting there dousing it with freaking lighter fluid. And a guy by the name of Rick Monday, the Dodgers, I think he was the right fielder. He saw what the hell was going on, and he sprinted. He sprinted across that grass, and just before that guy could hold the match to the thing, he snatched it. He snatched the flag out of their hands and ran over, and I think he gave it to the bat boy for the Dodgers or something. And it turns out that that game is one that people talk about to this day. I just happened to be there because I wanted to go for a drive in my brand new car. Well, not brand new, but it was new to me. Moments like that, baseball moments like that, are just, just pure luck, timing. One of the greatest moments, probably the greatest moment ever of baseball memories for me. It was when the Mets were going to be in the World Series. This is, and again, this is 80, 86 maybe? Somewhere right in there? Yeah. Somewhere right in there. The Mets were headed for the World Series. But on the American League side, you had the Angels and the Red Sox. And the Angels were like 3 games ahead to 1 on the Red Sox. And it was, the sun was setting on the Red Sox chances of making it to the World Series. The Angels just about had it all wrapped up. Well, I went and I bought tickets to this championship game. I think it was Game 5. And some of you may remember this. Some of you just may remember this. Very famous game. The Red Sox are losing. It looks like it's all over. It's all over but the shouting for the Red Sox. And all of a sudden, they get a couple of guys on base. And this next batter comes up, and if he hits a home run, they could possibly win. I took my brother and I took my girlfriend, and my brother went. He was wearing his Boston Red Sox jersey, and let me tell you, walking through Angel Stadium in a Boston jersey, he was getting peanuts and nickels and everything thrown at him. People were spitting on him. I mean, he was getting destroyed. He was getting destroyed. We had outfield seats, and my brother had gone around to every single souvenir stand in the stadium trying to buy a Red Sox hat. There weren't any to be had. There was not a single Red Sox hat in any of the souvenir stands. So my brother walks over, and the Boston bullpen was out in right field, was literally, 10 chairs from where we were. So my brother is sitting there and he's talking to the Red Sox guys because they'll talk to him. The kid's he's got a Boston jersey on. And my brother said, "Hey man, can you just give me your hat, man? I tried to buy one. They don't have any." And the guy says, "No, man, I can't give you my hat. It's my hat. What if they call me out there?" And Bob says he pleaded with him. He turns and he looks, and this was a dire situation. There were 2 outs, 2 men on. There was a guy at base, and unless this guy hit a home run, it was all over. It was all over for the Red Sox. They were not going to go to the World Series. The Red Sox relief pitcher looks up at my brother and he says, "I'll tell you what, kid. If this guy hits a home run, I'll give you my hat." And the guy no sooner said it. Crack! Home run. Home run. The guy just took his hat and handed it to my brother. There happened to be a guy from the Boston Globe right there who took my brother's picture with the hat. The pitcher for the Angels, who ended up losing the game, killed himself over it. The pitcher killed himself over the fact that it was his pitch that gave him the home run that cost the Angels. The Angels didn't go to the World Series that year. The Boston Red Sox did. Very amazing moment. My brother still has that hat to this day. To this day, he's got that hat. It means the world to him. Pretty amazing shit. Pretty amazing stuff. Do you guys remember Do you remember your first game? Are there any games that stick out in your mind as, oh my God, I will never forget the time, we caught a home run ball? Is there anybody watching tonight who caught a foul ball, who caught a home run ball? You are the ones, you are the ones that I want to hear from. I want to know who you are, what game you went to. What was your first baseball game? Do you remember? Do you remember your first game? Surely you do. Surely you do. Everybody remembers their first baseball game. It's a moment like no other. I'm going to be putting my number on the screen, and I really am hoping you guys will call in with your wonderful memories of baseball. Hang on, I'm looking for a very specific, why can't I find it? Where the hell is it? Come on. Oh, come on. Really? There's a video that what the hell's going on around here? Okay. I see the problem. I have more videos than I remember. I have more videos in file than I remember. Okay. All right. You're going to get a little break here. I want you to get your dialing fingers ready. Okay? Your brother Zoe is going to put a number on the screen, and I want to hear about your baseball misadventures. I want to know who was your favorite player. Did anybody catch a foul ball? Did anybody catch a home run ball? You're the people I want to talk to. But I want to talk to anybody who loves the game of baseball, who grew up with a mitt, who slept with their mitt in bed with them like I did when I was a kid, because I loved the damn game. It meant something to me. It was a grand pastime. It was a thing of American beauty. We'll be back right after this. Right after this, people. It is your brother Zoe. I am coming to you from a part of New York which I believe they call the East Village. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the East Village, but there is something I can tell you. As you wander down this street, this is called St. Mark's Place. I am just a little bit south of First Avenue. There's a magical little place right here. Magic? What do you mean, Zoe? What's magic about it? Well, let me tell you. Back in 1975, Led Zeppelin, probably my favorite band, shot the front cover of their monumental album, Physical Graffiti, right here. It was, there was some sleight of hand done, and it's been 48 years. Things have changed. But let me assure you, without question, I've done my research. The picture on the cover of this album was shot basically right where I'm standing, and let me prove it to you. Here's the album. And there is the building. See the faces? See the faces above the doorways? Well, there they are. This is it. This is it. Now, on the album, they had to reduce it to a 3-story building so it would be square. So they chopped the top story off. But that is the album, and that is the actual building. A little piece of history right here in East Village. One other funny little thing about that building. In 1983, 8 years later, the Rolling Stones did an album called Tattoo You, and on it was a very popular song of theirs called I'm Just Waiting on a Friend. If you look at that video, it was also shot right there on that very same doorstep. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were sitting right there. There must be something magical about this building. I wonder if there is something magical about that building. I found it pretty amazing to be wandering down that street and finding the physical graffiti building. All right, tonight we are talking all things baseball, America's grand old game. Do you have fond memories of baseball in your life? Was there a time when it really meant something to you? I invite you to call. I'm going to put a number up on the screen. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this right. You would think I would have this in a way where I don't have to type it each and every time, but I don't know enough about computers to do that. Todd, you got to do me a favor. Todd, you got to do me a favor. I will call you right back. Spud, I will call you right back. I just hung up on Due Diligence, who called right as I started the video. And I promised him I would call him right back. Spud, let me call you right back. Okay, I will do it. Bye. Okay, perfect. Caller ID. Caller number 2. There it is. Come on. Are you kidding me? I don't believe this. Okay, finally. I'm sorry, people. Your brother Zoe is not very good at this broadcasting thing.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Do I have you?
Yep.
Okay. On the phone with me, my friends, is my dear brother, Due Diligence. How are you tonight, my man?
I'm doing good.
Outstanding.
Got a lot of stuff done today, so happy about that.
Awesome.
And waiting for your show. Good.
Tell me, my friend, do you have any amazing memories of baseball? Did it mean anything special to you growing up? Was it different than football and basketball and soccer and all the things, hockey, all the things they put down our throats these days?
Matter of fact, yes, I do. It was a Mariners game. Can't remember who they were playing, but it was in the Kingdom. I was with my Uncle Donnie, because he was the one that took me. He also took me to my very first and very last basketball game ever with the Supersonics in Key Arena. Yeah, very interesting. But we were in the 300 level of the Kingdom, and we actually watched one of the ceiling tiles actually fall on the field.
What?
It missed everybody. Oh, yeah. You remember when the Kingdom started having those issues?
Oh, yeah.
They tore it down? Yep. I was there for the very first ceiling panel to fall.
Oh, damn. It didn't clobber anybody, though.
No. It completely missed everybody in the outfield, but
Damn.
It was still kind of one of those real freaky things, but at the same time, obviously, the Mariners lost that game.
Oh,
But that's all right.
man. Did you have a favorite player growing up?
The only player out of baseball I ever enjoyed was Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah, he was a class
Outside
act,
of-
dude.
Oh, yeah, he was. To include his father, Ken Griffey Sr., obviously Mickey Mantle was another good player that I liked. Babe Ruth was another one, but honestly, I'll be 100% honest. Since junior high school, I never was able to get into the game of baseball because of so many rule changes. You know, that infield fly rule,
Oh
all
yeah.
the rest of those. Yeah, I couldn't understand them. I was like, okay, I just hit it out there. You caught it. You dropped it. And I'm out.
I'm out.
How does that work?
Right. Yep.
So-
Irritating as hell. Irritating as hell
Yeah,
for a
it is.
little kid. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But, yeah, I think those Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Ken Griffey Sr., and Ken Griffey Jr., those are by far the only... Well, don't forget Babe Ruth, obviously.
You mentioned him.
Those are the best players I could ever figure out. I mean, because they enjoyed the game of baseball.
They
They weren't...
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
They weren't in it for the money. They were in it for the love of the game. You know. Yeah.
Mhm.
Made all the difference in the world. The ones who would stay afterwards, you know, the fans would hang out by where the players walk out to their cars and sign autographs for the kids, you know.
Yep.
Those are the guys that I have respect for. The ones who have their Porsches rolled up so they don't have to have any contact with the fans at all. Screw those
Yeah.
guys.
There's probably one more I'd probably add to that would be Jose Canseco.
Yeah. A class
I mean,
act.
he was a class act as well. And then outside of that, you know, we did have that one Mariners player here that went to the Yankees. I can't. Obviously, he's insignificant to me, but Martinez is his last name, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But yeah, he went from the Mariners to the Yankees.
Gotcha.
Been a rival ever since then. But outside of that, I just honestly catching a baseball game every now and then is fun. I'll get that. But that first time ever going to the Kingdom
Oh,
before they ever took it down,
right.
that was the one memory I do have most about baseball.
Amazing. Yeah, I was very fortunate in that I traveled for work, and my group of guys that we worked with, we were all baseball fans. So as we worked in different parts of the country, we went out of our way to try to go to as many different baseball stadiums as we could. And I've gone to some stadiums that aren't. Whoops. I've gone to some stadiums that aren't there anymore, like Camden Yards in Baltimore, and I didn't make it to the Kingdom, but I did go to the new fancy stadium. You know, wasn't that the first one with the first one with a retractable roof where they could open it up or close it?
Yeah,
as
far as I remember, yeah.
That's a damn nice stadium you guys got up there. Yeah, that is really
Well,
a nice place.
it's right next to it's right next to the Seahawks Stadium, the new one. Because if you remember, back in the day, both the Seahawks as well as the Mariners they played inside the Kingdom.
Right.
And the worst part was for me, being in the Kingdom when the first ceiling tile fell, and then being out there in Iraq and watching it being imploded. Now, I know it happened a couple of years before, but I wasn't here in Washington State when it happened.
Right.
But they showed us in Iraq that the Kingdom was imploded. And I was like, what?
Holy yeah, that's like a punch in the gut, man. That's your hometown, baby.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it was not just a punch in the gut. It was a punch in the gut, an open-handed slap in the face, and a kick in the balls all at the same time.
Oh, man. Well, Floyd, I do appreciate your call, man. I got a couple other guys calling in. I got to see if I can sneak them on. Thank you for your baseball memories, man. I do appreciate it very much.
You're
right.
welcome. And hopefully we'll see you very soon. Okay?
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I'll stay in touch as it gets closer. Keep you apprised.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Bye.
There. Bye.
All right. I got to give Todd a quick call. These are the nice people that I unfortunately hung up on. Calling them back. I'm calling them back.
Hi, Sal.
Spudley, how are we doing, man?
We're doing good.
I bet
We're
you've got
doing
some.
great.
I bet you got some good Angel memories, don't you?
Oh, dude, I used to live just a hop, skip, and a jump. We could, in fact, where I used to go to church when I was a late preteen, early high schooler, you could walk to Anaheim Stadium, and we did. It was $250 for general admission back in the old days because
Yeah.
it was set up for the Rams.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, we do it all the time. You just go. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, it's $250. You know.
Hey, we're not doing anything. Let's ride our bikes down and go to the game. Oh,
The first game I remember, though, going to, although my parents actually pictures of me going to various baseball games before I moved to Northern California and then back to Southern California, because I was born in Orange County, and then I went to kindergarten through fourth grade in Northern California, and then moved back in 1976 to Orange County. And the first baseball game I remember going to, I remember specifically the day. I remember it, dude. It was July 4th, the 4th of July, 1977, and it was the Oakland A's at, obviously,
the Angels.
the California Angels.
Right.
They were the California Angels back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was their name. And Nolan Ryan
Oh.
pitched a complete game. I remember that. He pitched a complete game and won.
Oh, man.
And yes, it was a winning game, and there was a fireworks display after the game. It was set up so the game would be finished. It was like 2.5, 3-hour game, whatever a baseball game runs. And at the end, it was like night, and there was this just amazing. And it was brought to you by the Let's Dine Out Corporation. Do you remember the Let's Dine Out Corporation? And their motto was "Enjoy life, eat out more often."
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember it well.
Everybody loved that. It was a joke to enjoy life, eat out more
Eat
often.
out more
That was the Let's Dine Out. Yeah, and they were the vendor. They were the kind of exclusive vendor of
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember that slogan absolutely.
Well, and Donnie Moore, and let's skip ahead. I mean, obviously we're going to skip ahead 10 years. 1986, Donnie Moore coughing on that game, and him dying 3 years later after trying to kill his wife.
Oh.
Okay, so I lived, obviously I was huge into baseball. I was a huge Angels fan. It was a huge thing in my life. Him doing that was perhaps that was like the spark of it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what did it. I mean, anything major was going to tip that guy off.
Yeah, he was clearly on the edge already. Right.
Well, yeah, he almost murdered. Yeah, it was a terrible thing, and he wasn't that great. He wasn't that good.
Dude, I can't believe my brother has a hat from that game, from the home run that sparked it all.
God,
Well,
crazy. I remember that game too. So Veggie Jackson was the designated hitter.
Yeah.
Dude, that was crazy, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was nuts. But I love baseball. I grew up playing. I was a catcher. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say real quick is you're talking about a mitt. So
Yes.
I didn't call my baseball glove a mitt. It was a glove.
A glove.
Except
Okay.
the fact that I was a catcher, and my catching glove I called a mitt. It was my catcher's mitt.
Yeah, I mean, they've always kind of
fielding
referred to it as a catcher's mitt because you were, dude, a big giant guy like you were a catcher.
Believe it or not.
I would kind of see you as
put
first
me at
base
catcher.
with that big stretch.
No, dude, I would, dude, yeah, I could block the plate, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah.
bet you.
Yeah, you are.
That's wild. That's wild.
Batting fifth. Catcher. And Langweiser.
Oh, I love it.
Like, what?
I love it.
God bless. So,
Hey, thanks for the
Why
call.
don't you get somebody else?
Good to talk to you, my man.
Wait, Zozo.
Yes.
You're leaving on Monday. You're leaving next Monday.
Yes,
when
I
are you
am.
coming to Richfield? Are you staying here, or
I would be tickled to. I'd be happy to. It would be wonderful
Okay.
to hang out with you and Mrs. Spud and Duska.
Okay, so you're going to stay here Monday night? You want to stay here Monday? I mean, that's absolutely. I just got to know so I can plan that out.
If that works for you, that would be phenomenal. I got a couple people to see on the way up, so honestly,
Right.
that might be really, really great.
Because it's like 8 hours just straight drive, so you're going to be tired.
Yeah,
So,
oh, yeah,
by the time you get up here.
Agreed. It's a haul. It's a haul. That
Okay,
sounds wonderful.
We'll just like last time, we'll crash. We'll get you something. We got a spare bedroom. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Spud. I do appreciate
Thank
that
you.
more than you'll ever know. This will be great. It'll be great.
It'll be great. It'll be epic.
All right.
George Costanza. All right. Yeah.
Appreciate the
God
call,
bless you,
buddy.
brother. I'll
Love you
talk
lots.
to you soon.
Love you lots.
Bye. All
Bye.
right. Love you. Bye.
Wow. Yes. Oh man. He remembered the pitcher's name. I lost it for a moment, but he's right. That was the beginning of the end for him. Donnie. Old Donnie. All the way from Texas, my brother the Texan. How are we doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing great tonight. Dude, you were talking about earlier it being Wednesday. Yeah, it sucks. Today's my Sunday. Tomorrow's my Monday, but hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. And they turned up the heat down there, didn't they?
Oh, we're just now starting to cook with gas. It's just getting warm. It's going to be hot next month.
Yeah, so, I mean,
We're-
summer's around the corner.
We're in preheat mode right now, man. We're just warming up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Man.
Yeah. I think 98's the highest we've had so far. But
Ooh.
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, just getting warmed up. So, I like the conversation you just had there, and that was what Spud on the phone, right?
Yeah. Yep. Spudley.
Yeah, I mentioned Nolan Ryan.
Oh yeah.
I gotta tell you, I never was a big baseball fan. Not like I was a NFL fan, but anyway, just to be honest with you, I've given up on all sports. But it was boxing and NFL for me, and football. You know.
Yeah.
But you're talking about these memories about baseball. I did go to one game one time, and I got to see Nolan Ryan pitch way back in the day, and I took my little brother with me, and just baseball really wasn't my thing. But a great memory I have about Nolan Ryan was when he whooped the shit out of that 26-year-old kid out there on the mound when he was 46 years old.
I should call that up. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that dude's name was Ventura, and he was 26 years old, and Ryan was 46. And Nolan just whooped the shit out. Gave him old Texas noogie is what Nolan said. I remember watching that on TV. I do remember that. And, you know, Nolan Ryan struck out over 5,000 batters, pitched 7 no-hitters, and punched Ventura 6 times in the face. Those are Hall of Fame numbers right there, baby.
I like it. I'm looking up I'm looking that up right now to see if I can play it. That is, wow, dude, I had forgotten about that.
Ventura was the only player in MLB history to get hit 6 times by a pitcher in a single bat.
Oh man, I found it. I got it right here. Let me see if I can cut to the chase here. Where the oh man, you weren't kidding. They did duke it out, baby. Woo!
Yeah, man. Well, there wasn't no duking it out. Like I said, Nolan Ryan just grabbed him in like he was going to wrestle a steer and just, gave him a few shots to the old brain pan there.
Holy crap! Yeah, man, it's strange how memories like that stick with you. I certainly remember the incident, but I had kind of forgotten it. I had kind of forgotten it. I'm gonna play it in the background while you and I are chatting. Holy cow!
I can tell you, man. Out of all the baseball players out there, by the way, Nolan Ryan, he played for many teams. He retired with the Texas Rangers.
Right.
By the way, the Texas Rangers won the World Series last year. Y'all don't forget you're only as good as your last game. Okay.
Yeah.
And right now, Texas Rangers are the reigning champs. But that right. Yeah, I just whooped the dog out of him. Man. It was funny.
He whooped the crap out of that kid. He makes the mistake. Here he comes. Boom, 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 boom.
Nolan Ryan was born in Refugio, Texas, just north of Corpus Christi there. So he's a true Texan. He wasn't playing no bullshit.
Oh, man. There was a full-blown melee out there. Oh, that's
Bo
crazy.
Jackson, by the way, I believe it was Bo Jackson, by the way, that grabbed Nolan Ryan and pulled him out of the dog pile.
Yeah. Wow. That was, man, dude, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I totally, that one had gone the way of all flesh. I forgot all about it. Boy, Ryan, yeah, he got him in a headlock and just let him have it.
And he wasn't a young man. Like I said, he was 46 fighting a 26-year-old dude and just whooped the tar out of him.
Holy crap. Oh, that's wild. Wow.
But anyway, I just want to call in and say that, man.
I'm glad you reminded me. Thanks so much.
You got Babe Ruth, you got all these others out there, but that man right there, that's the one that I think of when I think of Mitchell.
Dude, do you know that my dad years ago flew to Japan back when Ryan was pitching for the Dodgers, and my dad, always a conversationalist, talking with this guy, it's a long flight from Los Angeles to Japan. So, they on and off again. Towards the end of their flight, my dad turns to me. So by the way, what do you do for a living? He says, "Oh, I'm a pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers." My dad just I remember him bringing home some glossy. He got some autographed photos for us. So very cool guy, Nolan. Wow.
Well, man, but before I go, I want to say if you got a Kroger grocery store in your area, Nolan Ryan has his own line of beef down here in Texas, and it's grass fed, it's all natural and everything. And when I go buy steaks and stuff at the grocery store, that's where I go. And I buy Nolan Ryan beef, man. Ain't nothing like it. I'm telling you right now, it's great stuff. So, he retired as a cattle rancher.
Wow, good for him. Good for him. Awesome.
So, hey, man, thanks for the time, Hoss, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Hey, thanks a lot for your call.
All right, see you down the road.
Good night, brother. My friend the Texan right there. Well, isn't it funny how something can jog your memory and you remember something like that at the time that happened? Oh man, that was all over the place. But I mean, that was years and years ago. Years ago. If that was today, that would be on the internet. That would be hot news for. Oh my God, that would be front page news for the next 3 weeks. 46-year-old pitcher gets the best of a batter. Crazy. Well, gosh. Once again, it looks as though it's that time, folks. We're going to have to turn the sails and bring this ship on in, but we have time for one more call. Right here. Well, would this be Girl Patriot?
Hi there.
How are you doing, kiddo?
Hi, this is Mike. I'm also known as husband of Patriot Girl.
Oh, fantastic, man. How you doing? Glad to have you aboard.
Yeah, I went. My uncle. Well, my dad was a truck driver, over the road truck driver, so he was gone a lot. My uncle took us to baseball games,
Oh,
and we went to see the Minnesota Twins. They moved from Washington to Minneapolis in 1960.
the Washington Senators, right?
They were Senators, and they become the Twins.
Right.
And so we went to a game, I believe it was about 1963. Harmon Killebrew
Oh, yeah.
was the big batter back then.
Oh, yeah.
And Tony Oliva was the big outfielder. They had, and a lot of them stayed on my block because we had these new apartments there, and a lot of the Vikings would stay there too. Matter of fact, one of the Vikings was my second cousin. We'd go down and play catch with them every now and then. Bill Brown, Frank Darkington.
Really?
But so we went to the game, and we were in the right field foul ball area, and my uncle had our gloves and said, "Now, when that ball comes out here, you grab it." I said, "Okay." Boy, a line shot come right at us.
Really?
We both ducked behind the seat.
Did you
I don't think he ever forgive us.
did you end up getting
So
it?
I think the Twins were playing Detroit.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Tigers.
Yeah, and it was the top of the eighth. The Twins were losing by 3 runs. So he decided, okay, now he says, this is how you work a baseball game. They're going to lose. We're going to head out ahead of the traffic.
Yeah, a lot of people used to do that.
And he get in the car. We're driving off. He turns the radio on. The Twins score 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth. And he's beating on the dashboard all the way home.
Not there to see it. Could have
Did not
witnessed
get a
history.
ball.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
you get to see the glorious end of the game.
That I think that happened to me once. Who the people I rode with decided, hey, we're out of here, and the home team that was losing turned around. I can't even remember if it was football or baseball, but I remember being in that position before. Yeah, that's right, dude. It sounds like you got to see some games back in the good old days, buddy. Back in the
Oh yeah, I mean these guys were making $5,000 a year.
oh yeah.
They had another job somewhere.
Yeah, a lot of them had other jobs. You know, they had to survive.
Sure. But Grant played football and basketball, so he had 2 jobs
Oh wow.
when he was in the 50s.
Yeah.
And yeah, these guys, we'd go knock on their door. They'd come out and play ball with us. Grant
dude.
Tarkenton, Bill Brown.
Yeah.
Of course, one of them was our second cousin. But and we were playing ball one day, and somebody threw the ball and cracked the window on a car, and we all ran again. Even them.
Oh man.
Anyway, we're looking forward to you coming out here.
Very good. I'm looking forward to meeting you both, man. I appreciate the invite very, very much.
All right.
We'll be
Thanks,
seeing you.
Here's
We'll be
Patriot Girl.
all right. Will do.
Hey, Bill. I thought you might want to meet him.
That's fantastic. I'm glad. Appreciate the call.
Won't be such a surprise.
Look forward to talking to you both. Thanks for the call.
I'll let you go.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
You know, there's a couple of amazing memories I have of when I was a kid, an altar boy in like the 5th and 6th grade. The parish that I went to would take us to go see Dodger games, and I think I shared this before. Back in those days, Dodger Stadium had wooden seats. They weren't the contoured plastic ones of today. They were just good old-fashioned wood seats, and they were hard as a rock. I mean, you know, you go to a doubleheader. I remember this one time my dad took us to a doubleheader, and I mean, we left halfway through the second game because my dad said his back was killing him, you know. But you could rent these pads for 50 cents for the game, and it was a seat cushion. And it was especially popular up on the second level, or even better, up on the third level. The minute the game was over, you took your seat pad and you threw it like a frisbee, or more like a boomerang. I remember I remember being taken to the game by the parish. The priests were there, the Monsignor was there, and I grabbed it, and I heard him yelling, Master Sella, don't do that, don't do that. And I grabbed that freaking seat cushion, and I hurled that sumbitch. It went way up in the air, and when it came down, it hit this lady in the head, and it took her wig. It took her wig right off her head. We laughed on the bus. We laughed all the way back home. I mean, it was one of those moments I will never forget as long as I live. I got in trouble, though. Well, not so much with Father Hop, but they told my parents. So, oh boy. All right. I very much appreciate all of you wonderful folks hanging out on the mystery ship tonight. I'm going to release the scratching over there. Thank you so very much to all of the mods who get her done each and every day. Thanks for all that you do, working on the bots, keeping the bad people at bay. Let's get over here to Lemon Land and put a little love. Put a little love in your heart. Come on now. Put a little. Okay, there it is. All right, we're putting some something in the treasure chest, and I am releasing it right now. It is coming your way. Okay. All right. Again, I'm asking you very wonderful, very nice people, if you are anywhere on this map, anywhere along this map, plus or minus 50 miles one way or another, okay, please reach out to me. I want to meet you guys. I do want to meet you guys. zosodude@protonmail.com. zosodude@protonmail.com. Send me a just get in contact with me. We'll figure it out. Who are the luckiest followers? Look at this. Jayla17, bad Zoot. Zoot, you're back in action, baby. Gloria Paddock makes the list. Lynn Winters, sheeple beware. How wonderful. How absolutely wonderful. Sheeple, I need an address for you to mail your prize. I need an address or a P.O. box or a general delivery care of your local post office, where you just walk up and tell them your name and they hand you the package. But, yeah, how are we supposed to do that? Anyway, thank each and every one of you for coming and hanging out with me. Again, thank you to the mods. Thank you to all the wonderful people who called in this evening. I'm glad you have good baseball memories. It is just, those were the days, you know, before sports got ruined, before it became a big conglomerate, let's make money at this. It used to be the grand old game. Like Girl Patriot's husband pointed out, you know, those guys used to have second jobs. Being a baseball player was cool and everything, but you couldn't survive on that money. You had to have another job, get through the winter. Anyway, I love each and every one of you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me tonight. You guys are you're all rock stars, and I love you lots. I'm going to sneak on out of Dodge. Yes, get on out of here. I got things to do, people to see, laundry to fold, and I got to get up at the crack. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, my friends. We'll see you sometime very, very soon, like Friday night. Nighty-night.